right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt Miller, known as DeckOfManyThings in Hex and Many Things Deck on Reddit and Twitter. And I am here to show you Hex in virtual reality. I was lucky enough to pre-order an HTC Vive, and I have it up and running. And I've gotten Hex to work on it before. It has crashed a couple of times. The software just taxing a lot of resources. I am using a program called Virtual Desktop. Virtual Desktop is available on Steam and also on the Oculus Home. No, it's not available on Oculus Home. If you buy it on Steam, you'll get a code, and that code works for Oculus Home to give it to you. It's $15, and it basically gives you a entire virtual desktop in VR. As you can see, I'm looking around. I'm in space. I can change the background to a dark nebula and get some creepy music going. It hopefully doesn't stick around. Yeah, it doesn't stick around. Okay, good. And Virtual Desktop allows you to play games in VR that aren't normally VR games. For this, I'm going to run Hex. I'm going to
launching Hex patch.
Run the Hex patch here. Hopefully there's no patch to do. Nope. All right, so we're going to go play. I'm going to have to take the headset off at one point to read the code for authenticating. So it might get a little wonky. But as you can see, it's just like having a giant monitor in my face. And, you know, you can see the edges kind of floating here. Hex, Shards of Fate. This is bigger than any monitor that I own in terms of how much real estate there is. I physically have to look around left and right in order to see the edges. And this is actually going to be something we will talk about many times during the video here. So I'm just bringing up the authenticator on my phone because I don't like people hacking accounts, the jerk hackers. There we go. Now that should connect us. All right. Get the headset back on. Get everything all set up. And right now I'm running Hex in full screen. And you'll see that basically this, it eats up the entire screen. And now we've got Hex. This is the traditional Hex interface. This is the new patch. You'll see campaign, battlegrounds, everything's here. It's a big, big screen. So a couple things we can do. We could just play like this, but I'll tell you right now. So I'm looking at battlegrounds, right here in the middle. And with the HTC Vive and pretty much all VR headsets, they have a sweet spot. And the sweet spot right in the middle is the stuff that's in focus. And the farther away you get from center, the less focused things tend to be. And this is odd because you many times will just move your eyeball to the left, to the right, down, up, just to read something. But when you're in VR, if you do that, you'll see it's just blur. Like this up here is basically the upper left corner of my vision, and that is just a giant blur without moving my head. Now, if I move my head that direction and stare at it, yes, it's perfectly readable. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. But now this is also now just a blur. So we'll go back here. We'll look at battlegrounds. We'll look at store. We'll look at campaign. Everything comes up. So, and then you've got the chat window down here. You can see it's, fairly readable. I just removed all the end of the API file. Now it's working. And yeah, so this is people talking about the API problems. Anyway, so let's dive into a game here. We'll just grab my champion here. I'll grab that one. So another thing that VR has is it has these sort of they call them God rays or halos. Anytime you have a light image on a dark background like that loading, it definitely has a glow to it that should not normally be there. And the glow's kind of annoying. And VR developers, basically say, don't do that. If you do that, then yes, it will be annoying. So let's see. Let's just try and find a battle I can do fairly quickly. Can I redo this one? I don't remember which battles I can redo. Let's just do this one. Travel there. So, oh, there's a little legend here now. Repeatable. Yay. So, like I said, if I need to look at anything, like, I have to move my head towards it in order for it to be readable, right? You may notice that this video is kind of skewed left or right. That's probably because my head's resting a little bit left or right. Your mind adjusts for it with your eyes. But when you video capture, like I'm doing now, it generally won't care, and it'll just, capture odd. Hopefully it's not too distracting for you. Let's explore this. Alright, the Wandering Abomination. This is the pumpkin guy, so this should be pretty easy. So yeah, so this mouse cursor, super haloing. A bunch of these stars halo. This halo's pretty bad too. Alright, so now we're playing Hex. I'll get my hand. All this text is totally readable, because that's where my center is focused to. I can look down and I can see the resource pool down here, but it is very much at the edge of my vision. Above here, this also edge of my vision and very unreadable. So let's just keep this hand because it's almost entirely playable, even though we're on the play or on the draw. Alright, so we'll take Ruby. And the other thing is, normally F4, F10, F5, those all function to skip phases. However, Virtual Desktop has rebound those to some Virtual Desktop commands, so they're not going to work very well for me. So as you can see, I've moved into a window mode because they crashed in the other mode, and so I wanted to show you guys what it looked like in a window, as well as maybe be a little bit less taxing on my system resources, and do a little bit better that way. So now it's my turn here. I'll attack. Let's start the turn I played that. So as you can tell, like, I'm still moving my head around. Like, I want to see how much health he has. I have to look pretty much straight at his health. I want to see how many cards are in my deck. I have to look pretty much straight at the cards in my deck. I want to look and see my health. I have to look pretty much straight at my health. And so this is kind of how you have to play Hex if you're going to play in virtual reality. So I gave up a lot of screen real estate in terms of looking at that giant monitor with all the giant cool stuff on it in order to, make it a little bit less head movie and not having to like drag my head left, right, and center all around. But still, I find myself having to drag my head all around just in order to basically do anything. Wow. Okay. Well, it's gonna. So that's gonna be the way we play, eh? Gonna shard screw me like that. That's fine. I have plenty of health. You have no cards in hand. Wow. That was one of those F4 moments where I tried to do an all attack, but I actually just ended up recentering the image in my virtual reality headset, so kind of pointless. So, yep. That's fine. We have plenty of health. I think it's all blurry. Deck still doesn't want to give me any cards, any shards. That's fine. It's a race. I'll win it. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's how we're going to play this, eh? Of course. Why give me another diamond? What good would that be? Alright, pumpkin eater. There we go. Diamond. Solitary exile. And your big guy. Eight health left. I can't do anything about that. I could swing in for 4, but I'll lose a guy. Yeah, sure, why not? There we go. That's fine. Champion Powers what crashed it last time, so glad it didn't crash this time. And there we go. So, as you can see, that's a match completed. And then once this finishes loading, get my gold. Alright, so we're going to pop out of the campaign. And we'll look at the card manager. Just so you guys can see what this looks like here. My Wild Cup deck, which I never ended up playing. Now, the thing is, I'm actually going to kind of sit up a little straighter here in my chair. and hopefully not run into my microphone too much more. But so I can bring up a card like that, but I can move my head closer, and then I can kind of read, because it's all virtual desktop. I can kind of read the card there. But what I can also do is I can also bring up Virtual Desktop's control panel and make things bigger there and read it like that. See the cards, see things like that, change the champions. I don't want to run Dreaming Fox. I want to run that... what's the other one? Who's the good one? That'd be Roshi Manabu. Yeah, man. Not many people play Roshi Manabu. Let's play that one. Run into the microphone again with the headset, so apologize for that. But as you can see, like, we'll jump into the auction house. See some people listing stuff. Crocosaurus for $30, augmentation bots, everything like that. So as you can tell, I'm moving my head back and forth. Got to look there, look, see how much the price is. Look there, look and see how much the price is. It's kind of a little irritation. Okay, so in conclusion, the limitations of VR kind of really hinder the UI of Hex from working as well as we want it to. I mean, Hex basically put a lot of information on the edges of the screen so that the center of the screen was all like the nice, pretty cards. The chain was there, things like that. The characters, the constants, everything like that was, right there, smack dab in the middle of the center of the screen. And so having a lot of the info on the edges just makes it too difficult to want to play Hex in virtual reality. You just end up moving your head all the time, and when you'd rather just kind of be moving your eyes left, right, and center, just kind of like head pointed at the screen, just kind of moving around. Like, I could make this screen smaller. But then we lose a lot of resolution, and I still kind of have to focus in on areas. I can't read, like, staring at the star at the center of the screen here. I can't read his health, or my health, so I kind of have to move. Still need to move. Like, even here, even at this size, I still need to move a little bit to read healths. I can get the resources pretty well, but at this point, I'm basically playing in a tiny, tiny little screen here in VR that is not exactly what I was trying to accomplish by having running Hex in VR. So there you go. If you have any questions, you can leave comments below on the 5 Shards post or on the YouTube video, and I will do my best to answer them. Thanks a lot. Stay lucky.